So last fall, there were a lot of people who tuned out of watching the NFL because they went supremely woke. They were pushing racial propaganda every chance they got. They decided to honor Black America by singing a Black national anthem. They ushered in names to be attached to the back of helmets of people who were martyrs of social justice. And people were sick of it because this is the deal. We tune into football to watch football, not watch some social justice spectacle about things that are not even true. Police brutality is not a problem for the law-abiding Black citizen. Now, if you're George Floyd, if you're Rashard Brooks, if you're Andrew Brown Jr., then yes, you might find some brutality coming your way because you are acting as a criminal. You are not being a law-abiding citizen, and therefore, you know what? If you live in darkness, if you practice lawlessness, then your life just might meet some sort of tragedy, guys. But this clip right here from First Take, the man to the left, Stephen A. Smith, the man to the right, Max Kellerman, are talking about the question, do you have a problem with the Jaguars signing Tim Tebow? Now, why can't we just celebrate and be happy that Tim Tebow, an outstanding man of any society, this man could be placed in any era and have the name of a pristine person because he doesn't get caught up in garbage. Why can't we just celebrate, hey, a good person, an outstanding citizen, a person who has kept his body in shape, a person who proclaimed that he was going to wait till marriage to he was going to abstain sex and sexual activity until he was married. Why are we not going to celebrate that that man is being reunited with his college coach, Urban Meyer, in his home city? Shout out Duval, Jacksonville, Florida. Why can't we just celebrate it? But no, people like Stephen A. Smith and a bunch of woke activists want to bring in the white privilege. And we are going to just dismantle that because this has nothing to do with white privilege. And we're going to talk about a few other Black athletes who screwed up immensely, but they received second, third, fourth chances, fifth chances, and yet nobody talks about Black privilege. But before we go any further, guys, make sure you join the journey to 5,000 subs. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified anytime I make a video. And let's jump into this, guys. So like I said, the content is, do you have a problem with Jaguar signing Tim Tebow? Stephen A. Smith, the floor is yours.
Deserves, something along this line. I have a problem with it. And in the interest of full disclosure, I texted Tim Tebow a couple of weeks ago, and I told him that if anybody deserves, something along this line, it's him. Just from a human perspective, I think that he's one of the great people that I've had the pleasure of meeting in this business. He's a really good dude. His heart's in the right place. He's very charitable and philanthropic with his intentions and his actions. He's a pillar of that community, especially. Was a star at Florida State, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm happy for him.
Okay. So this is what you call double speak. You say two things at once. He's saying he's happy, but at the same time, he's saying, I have a problem with the Jaguars signing Tim Tebow. What are you saying? Why can't these people just make up their mind? It's because they're double-minded. When you are a part of the tribalism of race, you are ensnared by double-mindedness. Do you have a problem with Jaguar signing Tim Tebow? Yes or no? Everything that he just said, he's an outstanding man. He's a pillar of that community. I'm happy for him, but I have a problem with it. That doesn't make sense. And it's because when you operate in the tribalism of race, when you are tribalistic in your thinking, when you see skin color, you can't simply look at a man like Tim Tebow and rejoice with him. You know why? Because Tim Tebow is a white, straight male. And Stephen A. Smith has a problem with that.
Meaning Tim Tebow specifically. But when you look at, just the totality of the situation, Once again, if I'm going to bring up white privilege when I brought up Steve Nash getting the job in Brooklyn, is this not an example of white privilege? What brother is getting this opportunity? Now that makes people uncomfortable because we're talking about race. When I say something like that, let me be the first to say, I don't give a damn how you feel. I mean what I say. It is white privilege because that's not something that's happening for any brothers out there.
Yeah. So, guys, we don't even have to listen to anything else he's saying because he is an idiot. He is he is like a tribe leader. If your skin color is black or brown, Stephen A. Smith can be your tribe leader if you subscribe to this woke propaganda. This is not white privilege. At the end of the day, this is the facts around Tim Tebow being signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He can be cut. He can literally be cut before training camp. He could be cut during training camp. He could be cut during the preseason. He could be cut a day before a regular season game. He is just given an opportunity to attempt to make the team at tight end. That is all he has been given. He is not guaranteed anything. He still has to earn a spot on the roster. Who knows? There might be somebody on the roster who beats him out of a position. And if the Jacksonville Jaguars say they only take 3 tight ends on their depth chart and Tim Tebow gets beaten out by 3 other dudes, then you know what? He's cut. And this white privilege narrative gets dismantled because at the end of the day, Tim Tebow doesn't even know if he's going to be a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars for the 2021 season because he has to earn a spot on the team. Yet we want to jump the gun. Not we, these idiots like Stephen A. Smith want to jump the gun and talk about white privilege, this and that. But at the end of the day, guys, this has nothing to do with white privilege. This has to do with good character privilege. This has to do with relationship privilege. This has to do with staying in shape privilege. This has to do with perseverance privilege. This has to do with honoring God privilege. This has to do with keeping a good name among all people privilege. That is the privilege. This has to do with hard work privilege. This has to do with never give up privilege, not white privilege. Are you serious? So this had me thinking because Stephen A. Smith said this opportunity never happened with no brothers. This happened. Okay. Michael Vick. You remember Michael Vick? Michael Vick was the first pick in the 2001 draft, the first overall pick, number 1. He dominated the NFL from 2001 to 2007. Then his career came to an abrupt ending temporarily. I should say halt. His career came to a halt in 2007 after he pleaded guilty for dog fighting, his involvement in a dog fighting ring. The dude spent 21 months in federal prison. And then when he came back, guess what Michael Vick did? He killed it. He destroyed the league a second time with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Stephen A. Smith, there's a brother he actually committed a felony. He didn't commit white privilege. No, he committed dog fighting, and then he was locked up in prison for almost 2 years. By the time he hopped back on the field, it had been 2 whole years. He was in prison for 21 months. By the time he hopped back on the field, he had not played in an NFL game for 2 whole years. Okay, there goes a brother who was given a second chance after actually committing a crime. A heinous crime that led to the death of many dogs because of dog fighting. Okay, get that. A millionaire, multimillionaire wants to fight dogs because it's sport. So that's one brother, Stephen A. Smith. How about Antonio Brown? Okay, he's a member of my team, go Bucks, but you can't dismiss his past. You guys remember the details when the details emerged in the domestic dispute between Antonio Brown and the mother of his child. Antonio Brown, this man literally took to a live stream and he bombarded the mother of his children with obscenities. He bombarded her with belittlement. He bombarded her with derogatory, hateful words. All right. This man basically got himself kicked off of 2 teams. The Steelers 1, the Raiders 2, the Patriots 3. Then he ended up in Tampa Bay 4. There goes another brother who actually was caught up in off the field garbage, Stephen A. Smith, and then he's given an opportunity. All right, how about this? Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson. In 2012, 2013, the former star was sentenced, and this doesn't make sense. He was sentenced to 30 days in jail for a probation violation in a domestic violence case. He was on probation, guys. He was on probation for head-butting. He headbutted his then wife, Evelyn Lozada. All right, and then after that, he was able to find some sort of opportunities to maybe get back in the NFL and never materialized. All right. Josh Gordon. Have you ever heard of Josh Gordon? You might have, but homie was suspended since joining the NFL, I think in like 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. All right. Josh Gordon has been suspended 5 times, all for substance abuse, and he kept coming back, kept getting suspended. A couple of those suspensions ended up in indefinite suspensions because he continued to use drugs over and over and over. Yet this guy had the privilege of being suspended 5 times. Some guys just get suspended once and it's over. This guy, Josh Gordon, because of how talented he was suspended 5 times, and he's currently out of the league. Now I want to wrap all this up because here's a name. A couple of those names you might not have heard of, like Josh Gordon. If you don't follow football, I doubt you remember this guy right here. All right. Laramie Tunsil. You guys might remember this. You might not. If you don't, let me jog your memory because this is funny because this just spits in the face of Stephen A. Smith. This man right here, Laramie Tunsil, all right, left tackle, or he plays some position on the offensive line of the Miami Dolphins. He was the number 1 offensive lineman in his draft class, I think in 2016. Right before the draft, this video pops up of him with a gas mask on, hitting the biggest bong rip you've ever seen. And then he takes off the mask, smiles, and then he plummets. He should have been the number 1 offensive lineman taken. He ended up plummeting from that position. But Stephen A. Smith, there goes another brother. So let's just recount. We got Laramie Tunsil, we got Josh Gordon, we got Chad Johnson, we got Antonio Brown, we have Michael Vick, and that's just me giving a quick synopsis overview, because if we dig deeper, there are plenty of black and brown people in the NFL. The NFL is dominated by black and brown people who are given second, third, fourth chances. So for Stephen A. Smith to get up there and say, "Oh, this has to do with white privilege," stop pushing propaganda, Stephen A. Smith. White privilege is a myth. White privilege is a myth. I guarantee you. You know what a sad thing? I wish this could happen to people like Stephen A. Smith. I wish Stephen A. Smith could trade places with his ancestors that lived here in the 1700s, early 1800s. I wish they traded places and his ancestors got to see how this man was eating in 2021, how this man was dominating his workspace in 2021, how this man's bank account his bank account looks like the white master's bank account in 1700, 1750s, 1800. This man, Stephen A. Smith, looks like a loaded, wealthy, privileged black man. Not even black. He is a privileged man in America. And yet he's talking about, oh, Tim Tebow has white privilege. I wish he could trade places with his ancestors so his ancestors could experience this life. And then I wish they could stand next to each other and his ancestors just slap him across the face and say, "Shut up, stop complaining." I looked at the film of Rayshard Brooks. He shouldn't have been getting drunk and then passing out in front of a Wendy's. I wish we had a Wendy's back in my day. All right. But he shouldn't have been drunk, passed out, and then the cops had to come, and then they try to detain him, and then he fights them. George Floyd shouldn't have took that much fentanyl and meth. He shouldn't have taken any. All right. Andrew Brown Jr. shouldn't drive. He should hop in his car and then drive away and then almost hit an officer. All of these things that these people want to push. At the end of the day, if you're a law-abiding citizen, whether you're white, black, brown, whatever you are, Asian, Native Indian, if you are a law-abiding citizen and you stay out of trouble and you mind your own business, you don't really have to worry about anything, because evil most of the time avoids those who are not seeking it. So I'm gonna leave that right there, guys. As you guys know, on this channel, we believe that white privilege is a myth, that systemic racism pushed by the Democratic Party and Black Lives Matter is a conspiracy theory. It is literally a conspiracy theory propaganda move to brainwash and trick people into thinking that racism is such a big problem in America that you have to vote Democrat, or you have to subscribe to critical race theory, or you have to be an anti-racist activists like Ibram X. Kendi, all of these things that are not needed. But what they do is they gather people as a constituency to gain power. And that is what people like Stephen A. Smith aid in. They aid in woke propagandists gaining power in America. And I say that we rebut them at every turn, because at the end of the day, they are lying. Okay. Black privilege reigns in the NFL. And I don't even think that's a problem. Hey, the NFL is 70% black, something like that. You know what? Everybody else needs to play better. But I'm going to leave that right there. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you join the journey to 5,000 subs. Hit that notification bell so you're notified anytime I make a video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you guys want to support the channel, you can definitely support me on PayPal. Link will be in the description below. You can also find me on Cash App. All right, Conservative Republic. Do not forget to hit that like button, guys. Get these likes all the way up so this video will be pushed out and we will destroy and conquer the YouTube algorithm. As always, guys, God bless you. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you good people on the next one. Peace.